Hello everybody, welcome to the Mystery Steamboat channel. This is part one of the Ask Me a Question. If you want to ask me another question, then put something in the comments, or if you're watching this via Twitter, send me a DM message, or there might be a thread somewhere on there that says about the video being uploaded. Put it on there and I'll try and answer your questions, and be any sort of questions you want, really. Any questions about me, because it's all about me, these little questions. And what I will do is, anyone who does ask me a question, if you go into the comments box on the YouTube, there will be links to their respective YouTube channels, so do feel free to click on them channels and see if you like what they got to say in life in general, and maybe subscribe to their channels. So that'd be great, wouldn't it? So I'll start with my first question. I'm going to have to sort of keep on looking down at the phone because I've got all the questions on my phone, so there's a lot of questions to go through, and I'll probably be splitting this over a number of different videos, because there's a lot of questions and I might be talking quite a lot. So if there's a bit of editing, it might be a bit of a pause, then I'll do a little outro end, and then start the next one, and then, yeah, you know how it goes. So anyway, the first question is from Michelle, and this one's on behalf of her son, a little man from Washington DC. So a little hello to you. And he's asked me, my son has asked the following: who is your favourite Disney character that you have met or can meet at the parks? Well, this one's kind of an easy one for me, because my favourite character is Donald Duck. Love Donald Duck, love all his cartoons, and he's just the best. I haven't got it here, but I've got a Donald Duck hat, I've got a Donald Duck t-shirt. Love Donald Duck. Now, as you probably know, Donald Duck lives in America. He lives mostly in Florida, and he will hop between all the different parks, the Animal Kingdom and the Magic Kingdom, and wherever he hops to. He sometimes hops to little breakfast buffets, and then sometimes he goes across to the other side of America and he goes to California Disney. He spends a little bit of time there. Well, we was a bit lucky last year, because Donald decided he wanted a holiday and he wanted to fly across the Atlantic Ocean, and that's quite a long flight for a little duck to flap his little wings, so he couldn't do that, so he had to jump on the plane, and he flew over to France, country in Europe, to look on your little atlas of the world, and you can see where France is. We live in England, which is just above France, so he flew across to France and to Paris, and he went to Disneyland Paris, and I met Donald Duck there. He had a special outfit on because it was 25 years of Disneyland Paris, and he wore a special outfit he had made just to, you know, be part of the fun there, and I had a picture of him. And if I do a little pause, I'm hopefully going to try and insert a little picture here. It's going to come here. So there you go. So that's me and Donald Duck in Disneyland Paris when he flew over for his little holiday. He's obviously now back in Florida and waiting for you to come and see him. So next time you see him, give him a little hug from me, because he's my friend and he must be your friend as well. So the next question is, let's see, this is from Samantha H. How do I get into magic? How did I get into magic? That goes back a long while ago, because I'm now going to start showing my age, because I think you are on your thing as Samantha 83, so I'm guessing you was born in 1983. I was born a bit before then. So I grew up watching Paul Daniels, and that used to be on BBC One on UK telly, the Paul Daniels Magic Show, and he was brilliant. And at the time I was sort of early teens, I'm guessing. I can't remember when it came out, late 70s, early 80s. So I was young anyway, and Paul Daniels was brilliant. And his little catchphrase was, "Oh, that's magic!" And that's why I kind of do my little homage to him by when I go, "That is magic." That's my little homage to Paul Daniels, because he was the best British magician. He used to have lots of other magicians on there to showcase them, and there was one chap on there, and he did a really cool trick, but at the time I didn't quite twig who he was and how good he was, and it's only in subsequent years I realised how good he is, and that's Lance Burton. He is now my favourite magician. If you look for it on YouTube, he does the trick that I see on the Paul Daniels show, and it won him the Montreux Magicians Award for way back in 1980 something again, for all the magicians in this competition. He won it for this trick. I think it's called the doves and candles tricks. So he basically is producing candles and doves out of thin air, and it's a really cool trick. I'm sure it's on YouTube somewhere. Do try and find that trick and see how he does it, because I kind of know how he does it, but I don't know how he does it, because it is so good. And the style of which he does that trick sort of harkens back to like sort of the 1920s era of, were I around in the 1920s. That's how I perceive magic to be performed, and it's a really good trick. So Lance Burton's my favourite. Obviously I love Penn and Teller. Penn and Teller do some really good tricks. Check out some of their stuff on YouTube. Their bullet catching trick is just amazing. The best trick in the world is done by David Copperfield, and he's done a number of really cool tricks, but his best trick, and it is regarded by a lot of magicians as the best trick in the world, is called Death Saw, where he basically chops himself in half. So we've all seen, someone being chopped in half. He takes it to another level, and it's a really good trick. And my other favourite magician is Chris Angel. Again, he used to have a TV show on in America, and he's now currently performing in Las Vegas at the, what's that one called? The Luxor. That's it, the Luxor. He's at the Luxor. So hopefully one day we might get to Vegas and see Chris Angel. Penn and Teller are also performing in Las Vegas. Well, my mum and dad have seen them live, and they've done a meet and greet with Penn and Teller, so I'm a bit jealous there. And they just said that they're just so good to see on stage. So that's sort of where it comes from. I come from Paul Daniels' era. It's progressed from there. I'm trying to do magic with my card tricks. I'm not very good at shuffling. It's not a little gimmick. It's because I've got MS. So I'm sort of moving my hands a bit now, but I do have a lot of trouble sometimes holding things. Shuffling cards is a real challenge for me. So that's, it's a challenge, but I try and do it. It kind of works. Maybe some of the tricks don't quite work, and you can fathom out how they work. I don't know, or you're just thinking, "Wow, that's a good trick." Some of the tricks, it kind of does my head in. It's like, "How did I do that one? I know what I'm doing, but I don't know what I'm doing." It's like, "How did I do that one?" So so keep on looking, because I've got some more tricks up my sleeve. Although there's not a sleeve there, I've got some more tricks up my sleeve which are going to be uploaded at some point. So let's, that's thank you for that question. Let's see if I can find another question as I open up my phone. Oops, let me move my glasses a bit. I don't know why I move my glasses. I don't need to be looking this close at them really. Let's see. This is from Disney Con Sabor, so a big hello to you. What and when was my favourite vacation memory? Vacation is the American version of what we call holiday. I know my American lingo. My best vacation memory, I've got two, to be honest. I've got two. The first one was my first trip to Florida, and that was, let me think, that's the 20th anniversary of Magic Kingdom, so that makes that 1991. Now at that point I wasn't into Disney like I am now, and we stayed, I went with my brother, we stayed in International Drive. We didn't have a car, so although I could drive, I wasn't confident to drive in America, so we was relying on the hotel laying on a coach to take us to wherever. They dropped us off at the ticket transportation centre, and then we got the monorail. And when that monorail pulled up, it's like, I'm so excited, and then you see the monorail. If you've been on the monorail, you drive around, and then you can start seeing things. You can see Space Mountain, then you can see Cinderella's castle, and the excitement was so building up, and it was so much, I almost passed out, which sounds really silly. And it is kind of silly, because at that point I liked Disney, but not like I do now. Then it was just like, it's a cool thing to do Disney and do a theme park, but I wasn't into Disney. Now I'm really into Disney. So had I been going to Disney now for my first time, I'd probably had to be carted off to hospital, because I would have passed out and probably needed oxygen or I don't know what. So that's my big memory. But my other one was a trip which I actually won on a competition. It was on BBC Radio 1. They did a competition, and you had to answer 5 questions, which I did, and somehow I got them right. I don't know how I got them right, but I got them right. And I won a trip to the Cannes Film Festival, where Cannes, if you don't know, is in the south of France. And the Cannes Film Festival is, they have obviously films, and they're films that are just premiered to the world. And there's a prize for the best film of the competition, and I won a trip there. Now, in fairness, I didn't see that many films. I could have seen a lot of films, but I just wanted to soak up the atmosphere of Cannes, sort of walking down the promenade, sort of people watching, seeing if I could spot any stars, which I didn't. But I did see one film. I don't do 2 things, but I see one film, and that was Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me. Now, I was then and still am a huge fan of Twin Peaks, and it was the first showing of that film in the world. So we see that film, I think it was about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, got up extra early for that, to see that film, and it was the poshest cinema I've ever been in. It was just like, wow, this is... And then we see the film, and it got a standing ovation in the cinema, and it was just... If you like Twin Peaks, you know what I mean. Fire Walk with Me is just a really good film. If you've not watched Twin Peaks, give it a go. It's a bit weird, but I do love weird stuff. The weirder the better. Gets your mind thinking. You can watch a show like that again and still look for stuff that you've not seen the first time, and you can... Oh, wow. But then what I then did, on the evening, I went back, because on the evening they had the celebrity premiere of the Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me, and they had David Lynch was there, who's the film director and creator of Twin Peaks. He was there, so I had a picture of him walking up the red carpet, and I think they had, I forget his name now. He's a little chap, and he in the Twin Peaks, he's in the Red Room, and he talks backwards, and he was there as well. And as they was walking up the thing, they were playing Ennia's music of Caribbean Blue, which, if you've not heard that song, again, look on YouTube for that song. It's a really soothing song, and that memory stands out, because it's like I'm seeing their stars of the show that I love to this really soothing, brilliant music in Cannes, which is just a beautiful place. If you've never been to Cannes, it's really, really pretty, really pretty. So that's another standout memory. So I'm looking at my thing now. I'm up to about 13 minutes. I may have to say, right, I'm going to stop there. There's going to be a little bit of editing. I'll do a little editing together of a little outro video, and that's it. Right, this is my first outro video, because I'm going to have to edit these down. I've just been recording all the questions in one go to try and split them down into sort of more manageable vlogs. So this is the outro for vlog 1. Do tune in tomorrow and I'll upload the next one, or if not tomorrow, it might be the day after, depending how easy it is to do it all. But they will be coming, so keep an eye out for those. If you've got any more questions, again, go on Twitter and find a thread that says about this, that these videos get uploaded to Twitter as well. You can make a comment on there if you've got another question. If you're on the YouTube channel, just comment on the bottom somewhere with a question. Anyone who does a question, if I've not already answered it, I might answer it again, because at the end of the day, I won't necessarily remember what I've said before, and I might say a completely different answer. But just put a comment what your question is. I'll try and answer it. And anyone that I do answer a question, I will put a link to their YouTube channel in the comments in the YouTube, so that anyone watching this particular question answer can click on their channel and see what they're all about, and maybe subscribe to their channel. So it's not a little, carrot dangle to answer me questions. It's just me sort of sharing the love around, really, because you've all helped me grow my channel, and this is what I can do to help you grow your channel.